All right, all right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, we're going to do a check in on the topic of love. We shall see. We shall see how this goes. Sometimes all you can do is laugh, chuckle, and roll with the punches. We've got a woman of swords, a queen of swords coming in, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Violet, AC. Wonderful to see you. All right, here we go. Stevette, hi, love. We have a man of wands. Okay, so Queen of Swords, King of Wands. Starts out pretty good, actually. Starts out with a solid energy of passion, possibly a solid energy of communication. This is timely. This is Year of the Serpent, and we have the snake right there. So we may very well have a connection here between two people. Oh, I hope we get a good story. I could use a good story right now. We have temperance energy. This is the energy of balance. Okay, I'm liking it. Cards came out in not exactly this arrangement. Last time I used this deck, I feel like I remember talking about these, certainly this particular king and queen, and I know the temperance card came out heavily as well. We have a six of wands and a girl of swords, which would be somebody spying. This is the page of swords in any other deck. If this could be two people mutually keeping eyes on each other, and it's like, man, I see you watching me and I'm watching you too, and it's making me feel really good to know that you got your eyes on me. This feels very much like it's got to be two of them with the temperance, because it's going to be equally balanced energy where both people feel good, not like, ooh, why are they staring at me? It feels like both people feel good to know the other one wants to get to know them. This is just gathering information, or it can be about spying. But rarely do we see somebody feels good about somebody spying on them. Like, I hope they're looking at me. I hope they're checking me out. That feels really awesome. I think that when characters feel that way, like, oh, I hope they're watching me right now. I hope they notice what I posted. I hope that they're paying attention. I think that's when two people have the energy of like, I love the fact that they're paying attention to me. And I decided to go with, I love this backdrop so much. And I'm sorry that my big old head blocks the best parts of it. I'll try to rearrange that tomorrow. But I thought it would be nice to go with a little bit of like, I don't know, just something that pairs it down, but then we get to the powerful message first. I also want to do some mythology storytelling pretty soon here too, but and we may still even with this backdrop. But we have got maybe some heavy symbolism in here as well. If these two are wanting the other one to get to know more about them, it's like, pay attention to me, notice the different things about me, and ask me about the things that you notice about me. Now obviously we have a king of wands again, so we know he's a confident character in this, but he has had a heartbreak, and maybe he is even like, I hope she cares enough to know what's going on with me. Now I do not think that she is the reason his heart has been broken, because of that temperance energy here. I don't see her as being like somebody who he, has a past history with. If anything, see how I healed myself. Oh, I went through some real, he may have like, you know, I'll use just an extreme example, say a military career, and he's been through a lot, and yet look at him now. He may want to share his story, so that she can see, like, I'm the kind of person who, I'm really strong. I've been through a lot, but I'm still warm-hearted. I'm giving, I'm loving. It's like it's great to see a character who wants their life story to be told. We don't usually get that. And what a better person to tell your life story to than a queen of swords. She's going to be interested in everything. She's going to uncover every little rock. She's going to not spy, but she's going to be seeking the gems and the nuggets. She's going to want to know the little details to understand him better. And he's like, I'm an open book. It's so nice that she wants to know where I've been, where I've come from. I want her to get to know the real me. This feels amazing. I really feel like it's making him feel super special. Not that, oh God, here she is prying into me, but more like it feels so special that she would care to know me. Like I didn't realize that's exactly what I needed to feel loved, is to have, because this might be his love language, somebody who shows their heart and somebody who cares about the other person's heart. That could be like, oh my God, she totally gets me. Really, she's very different than him, but her inquisitive nature could be something that he just absolutely adores, that she asks him questions, that she cares to know where he's been, who he is. That is so refreshing, because we never get that. Never. Usually what we get is people that clamp down, and it's like, oh, don't ask me anything. I'm going to be mysterious, and I don't want to talk about my past, and I want to hide my wounds, and you have to guess. And if you don't guess right, or if you hurt me, I have a right to like punish you with silence. There's none of that here. This probably because he's a King of Wands, right? And he's upright, and he's a King of Wands twice. We've got the Hanged Man in the reverse. Definitely somebody who is like, oh man, I am so ready to open up to her. There's no delays. There's no hiding anything. I feel like he would be more than an open book. And I don't feel like he's chattering on and on about his personal life, his woes, it's all about me. Even though it may stoke his ego a little bit that she wants to hear every detail about him. He may love the attention. We all have our thing, but he still is a king upright. So I would say that this is more like him having a warm and wonderful and healthy 11 to 8, you angel. You are so sweet. You are so kind. Thank you, love. And thank you for the comment. This feels so like he's just in this really warm-hearted energy, and he loves the fact that, yeah, this is right. I don't need to hold anything back. I feel like she's making him feel very comfortable. Let's take a look at her separately. If she's inquisitive and she's interested in getting to know him, Queen of Swords, what's going on with you? Messenger of Cups in the reverse. Okay, hang on. Six of Swords sideways. Let me get one more. Nurture of Cups upright. Okay, so you know what's crazy about this? He's making her forget all about somebody from her past. He's making, when she talks to him, I feel like she's very present with him. He's very present with her, because this is actually a Queen of Cups energy. This could either be that when she talks to him, it brings up this warmth in her. She goes from a Queen of Swords to a Queen of Cups, or the way he treats her is like he's nurturing this connection just the way she needs a connection to be nurtured. Like she's saying, oh my God, I ask questions, and then he responds and he tells me about himself. Like he wants me to get to know him. And it's like he's emotionally available. Oh my God, this is like just what I've always wanted. I don't care about an ex anymore. In fact, every day I forget more and more about an ex who maybe once upon a time I wished an ex was going to come in and give me an apology. Honestly, I'm forgetting more and more about that, because this person is fulfilling me with my love language. It totally makes sense. He's open emotionally with me. He makes me feel like I don't ask weird questions. He makes me feel like it's normal for me to want to ask questions, and he wants to supply answers. It feels supportive. It feels open. It feels loving. It doesn't feel secretive. Every single day, she moves on a little further from something from her past, some ex or some person that might have been in her memory bank. We have a lot of stories where I find myself saying, the real crux of this was communication. That's always what seems to be, one of our biggest issues. And that seems to be the thing that they don't have any problem with. In fact, they're giving each other such a genuine and wonderful reciprocating support to one another. We have the Teacher, which is the Hierophant in any other deck. And this shows Thoth, the god of all wisdom and knowledge from the Egyptian pantheon. And he was the god that gave mortals our language and our arithmetic, and basically the stuff that we really need and the stuff that we're really good at. However, it can also be our weakest point, right? Communication and writing can get us into so much trouble if we don't do it well. But imagine what a great skill set it is when we do communicate effectively. If we if we use math wrong, we can crash a Mars rover on the moon because we forgot to translate that into, feet to meters or vice versa. Um, our greatest gifts that we have can be our greatest, like things that hamper us if we don't use it properly. But in this story, it says both of them, maybe this is why they're kings and queens. They've learned the value of use communication wisely. If you're going to do calculations and count up the things that people say and try to figure somebody out, make sure that you're doing the right calculations. Make sure that you're adding it up properly. Make sure that if you have a question, you ask and you get more answers. Well, these two are doing that. They're really talking and they're really starting to feel like, man, this whole human communication thing, this is kind of a bonus, Yeah, it's because they're good at it. It's because they're not trying to be evasive. And what I want to say about this is, if a relationship it's impossible to ever talk, maybe one of the good things to consider is like, is somebody being evasive? Is that why we can never actually have a genuine conversation? Is it because they always are thinking about how to hide something? I can understand how that would destroy the ability to have true conversation and truly get to know each other. That's what we don't see these two having problems with. And not only that, this is a card of belief. It's a card of marriage. It's a card of the things that we can sign our name to and say, this I commit to because I understand it. This is the person I want to marry because I really got to know him and he really got to know me, and we didn't hide stuff from each other. We open up and we have dialogue, and we support each other having dialogue. How awesome is that? This is like the best relationship I think I've ever seen in any of our stories. Okay, we have a 3 of Swords. What is that about? Is this just, it's time to address the final like big thing? There's that King of Wands again, and in the reverse. Okay, so hang on. We've seen him now 3 times. We've seen him twice now associated with this 3 of Swords. And now it kind of seems like the thing he needs to tell her about, and maybe the reason he wanted her to get to know him is because he's got something he's not proud of. At one point in time when he had a heartbreak, he turned karmic. He turned mean, or he, look, everybody who's heartbroken, no heartbroken person behaves well, right? Heck, if my dog gets mad that he doesn't get snackies that he wants, he'll throw a temper tantrum. If, a 2-year-old doesn't get more little candy or goldfish crackers, we all know how cranky they can get. Adults can have meltdowns too. So I'm just thinking he wants this to be laid out. He's like, I am a fallen angel. You do need to know, like, I'm so far from perfect. I am really loving. I am really nice. But when I get heartbroken, I have done things I'm not proud of. I have been a fallen angel. He's got those sooty little angel wings. And he wants her to know this about him so that there's not any like mysterious backstory about stuff she's going to find out later. What is it that you think you have to like testify, stand up and tell her about? What is that? 10 of Swords in the reverse, Ace of Coins in the reverse. Something that he can't take back, something that he will always be embarrassed of or ashamed of, or a pain or a hurt or something that he can't undo. There's no undoing it. So whatever he did, I mean, maybe this is somebody who's like, look, I did get in trouble. I was on a bad path for a while. I did go to jail. I did, whatever it was. He's like, and I can't ever erase that. That is part of my life history now. So you need to know that too. I feel like he carries so much, like, this is not like it makes him unable to move forward. It's that he doesn't want to try to run from that part of himself, and he doesn't want to hide it. This is somebody who's like, the amount of, like, he is heartbroken over whatever his own actions were. This is somebody who's taken full responsibility for an action that they took in life that they would give anything to undo, but there isn't any going back. There's only moving forward and trying to be better. Ace of Wands, and that might have been a turning point for him. That might have been why he turned into the King of Wands upright. Let me ask this. Was this storyline a new relationship, or is this like two people that are finally sitting down and having that conversation that has needed to be had for so long? You know, we just kind of picked this up in the middle, like two people are just like spilling their guts. But I don't know, what was their interaction before? Is this two people that have talked to each other before? See, I wondered if they had history. 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. This could be two people that already interacted and they had an epic fail. They could have been together, thought it was going to be great, and then instead either he disappeared after making promises and she was left out in the cold. Maybe he went into jail or something and had disappeared for a while, and this is the full story. See, we got the 9 of Swords. I was sure that there has to be some reason that we're just like leaping into amazing communication. And I'm like, but we can see why he is a better communicator, because he doesn't want any secrets. But it does look like he especially wants that because I think these two already had problems. And maybe it's not that she's getting over an ex so much as she is now getting the full story on what happened with him as he is opening up. And it's like, I don't actually need him to say sorry anymore because I'm hearing the full story. I'm hearing everything that actually happened. Once upon a time, man, she thought it was her. She was devastated. It's like, I thought we were going to have it all. And then you left me high and dry. And I was left thinking it was me, that I had done something wrong, that you didn't want to be with me. That 9 of Swords that's a lot of stress. This is him coming clean. Let me ask, why did you not tell her at the time, whatever had happened? Oh God, he thought about it so many times with that 5 of Wands, and then didn't know how to start the conversation and didn't know how to like broach the subject and didn't know how to explain every detail, and probably knowing that she was going to ask every detail. And he didn't know how to explain every detail. Maybe he hadn't wrapped his own head around whatever this mistake was that he made. Have you been gone for a while, King? Is that what this is about? Have you been gone for a while? 4 of Swords in the Chariot. Maybe 4 years. This long, slow journey of trying to heal enough to where he could be more open. Long, slow journey of taking control of what happened, whatever it was that he's ashamed of, embarrassed of, and then owning it for himself and healing to a certain extent to where he can at least vocalize. Look, I don't know what this was, right? Something he can't take back, something he feels there's no undoing. It's not something he did to her. It's not like he tried to hurt her feelings. This was more like the thing that he didn't want to talk about before, didn't know how to talk about before, and now he does. Why do you now? Why is it that you're able to say everything? Why is it now? We have the 2 of Wands sideways. It's almost like in life we always have choices, right? And when we get to a certain place in life where we go, I can't stay in silence anymore. I need to just get this off my chest and let the chips fall where they may. It's almost along those lines. How do you feel about her then? We've got Page of Cups. Feels like he'd like to apologize to her, but the only way to apologize, or maybe what's better than an apology, is a full conversation about, here's the thing. I mean, this could have been something so stupid, honestly. This could have been nothing. This could have been like, well, you see, whatever. As a joke, I stole a salt and pepper shaker. And it was so dumb, but then I got called a thief and I got prosecuted for it. It could have been something so lame, but it's that, that I have to carry that stigma. This could have been something very small, but a king doesn't take it as small because it was his mess up, right? And it's like, oh, It's so humiliating. You know, it could have been something that was not, it was only at the end of the world to him, really, but it still is like, I've made a mistake. I did something wrong. Kings are always going to take huge responsibility, and sometimes people take extreme amounts of responsibility for stuff that they really didn't do wrong, or that are just like, in the grand scheme of things, that does not make you a villain, in my opinion, right? You know, no, you shouldn't be stealing anything. But my point is, he may have blown this way out of proportion because he hates the way, he can't undo it. It was something stupid. It was something that he would never have done otherwise. Um, I don't know. This just looks like he made a mistake that he was ashamed of. Okay, so whatever that was, and we're not going to pry anymore because he's already, you know, he deserves a second chance. He's a king upright. He's, you know, a king of swords and king of wands upright and king of swords again. This is him getting the second chance. This is him really communicating everything, absolutely everything. The shadow side of himself, the wonderful side of himself, the honest side of himself. I would just say he's a freaking catch. So he's not perfect. Who says anybody is? But he's a catch. And he really, in this case, he says she deserves the truth. Good for you. You notice he's also matching her better now. A queen of swords, a king of swords. I can't be with somebody that I can't be honest with. I've needed to be honest with her for a really long time, but I wasn't in a place where I could meet her eyes or match her about my own past mistake. So now I can. Again, whatever this was, it didn't even have anything to do with her. It was just for him to be able to like tell her about himself, about his past, about whatever mistake he made. That was the thing that it took him time to be able to do that. As this is happening now, as the real communication is here, let me go back over to her. What's the message for her? If anything, I think this is alleviating so much stress and pressure off of her. Like, wait a second. So it wasn't anything to do with me. That's not why you were refraining from telling me. You weren't trying to be a liar. You weren't trying to hurt me. You were trying to disrespect me. It was your issue of things that you felt bad about. And either you didn't want to disappoint me, or you knew I was going to read it on you or read it through you, because you are my two of cups and I'm your two of cups. It just feels like this sense of like openness and clarity is like completely washing away the hurt, the pain, the confusion, the, you know, just the drama of everything. And what's left is, you know what, nothing else matters other than we're a really good match. You're my person, I'm your person. That was never untrue. We just had, you know, some obstacles here. I am so happy for these two. I am so happy for these. Got an Empress sideways. I would just say this relationship has a real chance to grow and blossom in a way that maybe it's going to be 10 times better than it would have been if they had been together before, if they had been successful before. Maybe this is just the way this storyline had to go. This is definitely a story of redemption, of second chances, of truly starting over. But more importantly, I think it's like, yes, a lot of hurt and pain or confusion could have been solved before if there had been communication. But here's the thing, regardless of how everything played out, these two, there wasn't an attempt to cause harm to either one of them. And if anything, the bond that's here, yes, it's been tested, but man, it's just as strong as it ever was. This is still great love. Now, knowing that this is great love, knowing she, I think, knows I'm their Empress. They know it. I know it. There is this sense of like acceptance and a sense of like, sometimes I think people don't have to say things out loud to know what they're both thinking. And I would say that that's where this storyline has gone. This storyline is like, at last we've cleared the air. And at last the thing that was always true, which is these two have loved each other all along. There's never been a time when they shouldn't have or couldn't have been together other than he had to wrap his head around his own mistake or perceived mistake in his life. And he had to do that for himself. And he could not have gagged it out of his mouth to tell her until he had made peace with it himself, whatever his perceived shame or embarrassment or mistake was. And again, I don't even know if it was that big of a deal, but it was to him. That's the point. It was to him. So much healthier frame of mind, and also so open now. He's so open. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. That was a very like lovely and refreshing storyline on this. Guys, thank you so much for being here. RS, hi. Pamela and Tours, hi. Hi, Raphael. Greetings to you as well. Vitalia Immortalis, wonderful to catch you. Hey, hey, homesick for hills. Wonderful to see you too, hun. Hi, Raina. I know, dances with headlights. I love your name. Hi, Decoded. Karen Bishop's in the house. Hi, honey. Calm C, awesome to catch you again tonight. Hi, Lacey. You were perfect. Honestly, Lacey, I'm so glad nobody was here earlier because I was struggling again. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you. Is anybody else having like tons and tons and tons of internet connection issues around the world? I feel like, there's volcanoes and there's this and there's that, and there's just so much earthquakes and all kinds of disruptions. And I feel like everything is just very bumpy, very bumpy. Eduardo Jimenez, great to see you. Thank you, honey. I will definitely tell Mr. Aries that you said hello, hun. Thank you for thinking of my furry one. T-Baby, great to see you. The Night Owlers or the Hooters. I love it. You guys are so awesome. I love the nicknames that you guys have for our night crew. Rice and Beans, awesome to see you. Yeah, it is a big old tiger, isn't it? 11-8. Thank you again, honey. I love it. 11-8. Abu, Chrissy, Krabby Girl 76, Eliana, wonderful to see you. Yeah, Eliana, I've wanted to do some mythology for a while, and every week I've been frantically seeking. I have a backdrop that I really like for mythology, and I cannot find where I put it. And finally, I was like, well, we can't wait for that. We're just going to have to go ahead and just roll with whatever backdrop. But I've been in the mood for mythology for about 3 weeks solid now. So, Dwayne Weathers, wonderful to see you, honey. Annette, how are you, love? Miss Moody, Delaney, 01 Frequency, Dine's Peace. Buongiorno. Thank you, Gianna. Wonderful to see you. Cataclysmic Awakening. Hi, Shay. Thank you guys again. And thank you, Stevette, for being such a trooper and bouncing back in again. Violet and AC. You guys are like running neck and neck. I'm telling you. I literally picture you guys like these gorgeous, sleek race horses, and you're both like completely like crossing the finish line exactly together. I love it. Super Thought, great to see you. 11-8, I love it. You're so awesome. Jessica Rios, hi. I know, Dwayne, right? I have to match the clothes to the cat's blue eyes. Oh, Raina, Queen Libra. Hi, sweetheart. Keisha, hi. All right, you guys, take care. I will see you again tomorrow. I'm probably going to bounce over to the other channel and do probably one video over there. It's so late. We're running out of time. But anyway, lots of love, you guys. Thanks so much for hanging with me. I will see you guys again soon. Bye. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.